So, David, I know those questions are rough and it's hard to phrase them exactly right, but I think that you put two different things into one question and then hence it becomes misleading. So let me break it down for you. I think that
Please.
there are three different parts of the Democratic Party now, and they're usually called two different parts, but that's very wrong. So there's the establishment part. I think that's basically the part that Destiny supports. Rah rah, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, corporate Democrats who will deliver 5 to 10%, and then you're supposed to kiss their ass for it and go, "Oh my God, you changed my life so much." And it's nothing but propaganda. They do basically almost everything the donors ask them to. That's the loser wing of the party.
What is up, everyone? As you've probably heard already, this clip from the David Pakman Show features a heated debate between Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks and Destiny. The discussion dives deep into the fractures within the Democratic Party, populism, and the progressive movement's challenges. Cenk Uygur takes the gloves off, calling out establishment Democrats, corporate interests, in the media's role in marginalizing progressives. Meanwhile, Destiny tries to defend the establishment but struggles to counter Cenk's razor-sharp populist critique. It's a battle of ideas where Cenk systematically dismantles Destiny's arguments, exposing the contradictions in defending the status quo. Let's get into this and break this down step by step.
And I don't mean that in terms of the folks who are advocating for it. God bless, everybody's got every right to advocate for what they believe in. I mean, they are literally losers. Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris lost to Donald Trump, who, is barely in double digits in IQ points. Biden nearly lost. So if you want to keep making that same mistake, we'll, a couple of decades later, there'll be no party left. But like, if we just get the best corporate robot like Pete Buttigieg, maybe he'll be the answer. No, corporate robots are by definition not the answer. So we're in a populist era. We're in an era where online media is stronger now for the first time than mainstream media. Authenticity is rewarded. And so sending out people going, "I am doing what the donors asked me to," is a disaster, epic disaster.
Cenk hammers a crucial point here. Authenticity is everything in today's political landscape. The corporate robots like Pete Buttigieg simply can't connect with voters anymore. People want change, not pre-packaged slogans from a donor's playbook. This era demands leaders who reflect the struggles of the working class, not boardroom elites.
And you've seen it with your own eyes. So I'm trying to wake people up. Now, when you go to the progressive side, everybody just goes, "Oh, progressives." But wait a minute, there's two very different camps in there.
Yep.
There's the camp that's Bernie 2016 that I'm in, that's economic populism, left-wing populists. And then there's the identitarian left, which is go maximum on crime doesn't exist, trans people should be able to play in any professional sports they like, free surgeries for detainees, on and on and on, right? And so my thesis is not one that's even, I don't even think it's arguable, let alone controversial. The corporate wing and the identitarian left wing uh, proved to be a spectacular failure in this election. Clearly the popular wing, and by the way, this is not a matter in dispute. You can just look at the polling. So the identitarian left says defund the police is going to poll really well. Latinx is going to poll really well, except it doesn't. It polls disastrously, right? And the corporate wing says, "Oh, me kissing the ass of corporations is going to poll really well." And it doesn't. It never does, right? But when you look at the populist left, you've got paid family leave, you've got $15 minimum wage, you've got lowering drug prices, on and on and on, universal health care. They all poll two-thirds or higher. So why not do the thing that's popular? So this is, and of course, there's a reason why they don't. And it's because the whole thing is built on money, 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 money. I mean,
Destiny's defense of the status quo falls flat here. Why? Because Cenk exposes the rot at the heart of it all: corporate money. Joe Biden stripping out a $15 minimum wage from the COVID relief bill wasn't pragmatism. It was a blatant sellout to donors. Destiny can talk all he wants about global trends, but this is about corruption, plain and simple.
the first thing that Joe Biden took out of the first COVID relief bill was the $15 minimum wage. He was lying about it from day one. He buried that. And why? It's super, it was, again, polling over two-thirds. Why would you take that out? Why wouldn't you let the Republicans defeat it, if they're going to defeat it, and then use it as a tool against them to win elections? The reason you don't do any of that is because your donors ordered you not to do that.
Destiny, about to that point, Bernie Sanders said shortly after the election, I'm paraphrasing. Of course, the working class abandoned Democrats because Democrats abandoned the working class. Do you think there's truth to that critique from Bernie?
No, of course not. It's I mean, like the again, the reality is incumbent parties all over the world lost. Like in every single country, the incumbent party lost vote share, lost seats in parliament, lost their elected leaders. I mean, like it was a referendum on inflation worldwide. We all felt it, and inflation is the thing that you feel the cumulative effects of. So there you go. I mean, like when has there ever been a president in recent history that has been better for labor than Joe Biden? And is Trump going to be better for labor than Joe Biden or Kamala Harris would have been? Like there's no policy foundation in that statement. And then to Cenk's point, I guess like this is the eternal mystery for progressives is that, and I've argued with so many on this, their candidates are supposedly the most popular, just nobody knows it yet, and all the positions that they have are the most popular positions. Then why do their candidates lose all their elections? Even when they're outspending opponents, they lose their elections. Why? What's
Destiny really thinks this question undermines Cenk's argument, but it's actually reinforcing it. The reason progressive candidates struggle isn't that their policies aren't popular, it's because corporate money and media smear campaigns rigged the game against them. Trump faced similar opposition but tapped into populism to overcome it. Destiny's comparison ignores how much harder the left has it when they refuse to kiss the ring of the donor class.
where are all of these progressive candidates taking Congress by storm that are so popular and have all these popular positions? And then I'm curious what Cenk will say, but I will head off one response because I know it's going to be, well, it's because the party's opposed to them and the corporate donors. The party hated Donald Trump when he ran in 2016. Republicans hated Donald Trump when he ran in 2016. It wasn't the billionaire class and it wasn't the donor class. He genuinely got a lot of support from the party and he eventually rose up through the ranks and he became popular and he became the nominee. And I think that if there was a progressive candidate, they could at least be winning their local races. But I mean, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, Cenk, you're shaking your head. How do you see it?
Yeah. So first, I love talking about worldwide elections because I think it goes to exactly the point I'm making. Candidates that are for the status quo are losing everywhere. And what's interesting is they keep going. I don't get it. Brazil went left, then right, then left. UK went left, then right, then left. What's going on here? Are they left or are they right? They're not left or right. What the voters are doing is voting for change and voting for populism. And so that is your Rosetta Stone. That will tell you if the right winger or the left winger is going to win. And so even Macron was a new party when he won in stunning fashion. Then he did the standard thing that everybody else does, and then they voted against him because then he became the status quo. What is the status quo that the whole world is vomiting out right now?
This is the crux of Cenk's argument, and it's devastating. Across the globe, people are rejecting neoliberalism. Whether they swing left or right, voters are desperate for leaders who will actually fight for them, not preserve a system rigged for the wealthy. Destiny's defense of establishment Democrats ignores this global wave of discontent. The people want change, and Cenk is absolutely right to call it out.
That's neoliberal policies. Give all the money to the very top, and don't worry, it'll trickle all over you many decades from now. As people on the left, we've been fighting against this ideology for decades. But now our leaders have been co opted by the donor class, and they say the same goddamn thing. And that's why we're losing these elections. It's not a matter of whether Donald Trump is better for labor than Kamala Harris. Of course not. But the question is, in the primary, is a candidate like Bernie Sanders better than Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris on labor? And the answer is obviously, obviously. So go towards labor, go towards change. So look, even within this election, guys, it was a perfect microcosm. When Kamala Harris first came out, Anna and I on the Young Turks said, oh my God, she's running a brilliant campaign. We're on tape saying that. Why? She came out as an economic populist in the beginning. She went after corporations doing price gouging. She went after the housing prices. She was addressing the economic needs of the average man. And then she picked Tim Walz, the most populist of any of the potential candidates. And then she took what was Joe Biden was down in the polling anywhere from 2 to 8 points nationally. She eventually sprung up to 7 points ahead nationally. She had it, and on the show I said if the election were held today, she'd win, and that was true. And then a giant turnaround, and she lost the lead entirely and lost the election. What was the turnaround? Her brother-in-law, Tony West, who's a corporate lawyer for Uber, convinced her to kiss the ass of corporations.
This is a perfect example of how corporate influence derails promising candidates. Kamala Harris was on the right track connecting with working class issues, and then her campaign pivoted to pandering to CEOs. That wasn't just a bad strategy, it was a political suicide. Destiny would probably argue that this is just a pragmatism, but it's exactly what voters are sick of.
And that was a brilliant political strategy. So what did she do? She put out a letter of 90 corporate CEOs backing her. And she started bragging about all the corporate CEOs are on my side. All the corporate CEOs are on my. I'm like, stop, you're doing terrible damage, right? And then she had Mark Cuban go on every cable news show. Now, guys, remember, she's in favor of big business. Don't worry, big business. She loves big business. Then Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, all the wrong direction. And she lost the lead and she lost the election. It's right there. It happened right in front of your eyes. So now this idea that the establishment wing uses, just because we spend billions of dollars against your progressive candidates, and we have all of mainstream media lying and doing propaganda on our behalf and saying there are no donor class. The donor class doesn't affect anything. Oh my God, the billions they took in donations from corporations, it doesn't affect anyone. No, Bernie Sanders is the real problem. He's going to execute people in Central Park. Oh my God, if he actually serves the average American, it's going to be terrible. Everybody unite against him, right? And you guys all saw it with your own eyes. Think about it. In 2013, when Bernie Sanders was polling at 1% against Hillary Clinton, I did a video on the Young Turks saying that brother could actually beat Hillary Clinton in the 2016 primary. Why did I say that? Not because of Bernie. Bernie's a great guy. He means well, etc. He's got his faults like everybody does. But it's because I sensed a massive populist energy in the country, and he went from 1% to 48%. So why did he not get over the hump and get to 52%? Because the minute he got into the 40s, they went from ignoring him to he's going to execute people in Central Park. His followers are brown shirts. He's anti-Semitic. He's this, he's that.
This is the heart of progressive struggle. Once Bernie gained traction, the media and donor class went into overdrive to crush him. They weren't just against his policies, they were terrified of what he represented. A movement that couldn't be bought. Destiny's dismissal of this dynamic shows just how out of touch his arguments are.
He's terrible. So yeah, with all of the media and all of the money against you, it's a little harder to win. If you don't acknowledge that, you're just being intellectually dishonest.
Do you acknowledge that, Destiny?
Hold on. Last thing. But despite all that, I helped to co-found Just Democrats. We launched it on the Young Turks. And everybody told me there's like, maybe you'll get one. We got 11 people rejecting corporate PAC money into Congress. It was stunning. And we had one of the most stunning political upsets literally in American history when AOC beat Crowley. And we did that with almost no money, okay? So even with overwhelming odds against us, anything that is remotely just a 5% fair playing field and we win. Imagine if we had the party infrastructure with us rather than against us.
This debate is a masterclass in exposing the Democratic Party's failures. Cenk Uygur didn't hold back, shredding the corporate establishment while Destiny flounders with weak justifications. The reality is clear. Voters want populism, authenticity, and policies that improve their lives, not empty promises from out-of-touch elites. This was sort of a wake-up call for anyone still clinging to the status quo, and Cenk walks away the clear winner here. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts or opinions down in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with a lot of the points made here, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.